What's going on, guys? We're bringing you some more disarms. It is Disarm Central here on this channel, but we're going to cover the final concept of single stick disarming. And if you haven't seen the other two, make sure you guys check that out as well on this channel. But the final concept we will be covering is actually the easiest concept, and it's the striking concept. So very, very simple. The word says it all. You strike the stick out of the hand. Very simple. If you didn't want to go into any sort of technique, if you just strike their hand instead of the stick, which the stick should represent in the first place for a lot of systems, you hit it hard enough. It's like a hammer and nail concept. Hand opens, stick drops. But there are a few techniques that you can set up to further guarantee and have a higher success rate at disarming if the timing is on your side. If it is applicable. We're not going to go into sparring testing. We're not going to go into legitimacy. We're going to keep it as what the art says, and we're going to try to work with it in order to help us broaden our spectrum of techniques. So the first one we're going to work with is a very, very simple one. This is probably one I teach all the beginner students. We call it the punch disarm. We work angle 1. I grab the end of the stick. Of course, this only works against stick. If this was a sword, he just cut right through my hand. So I grab it and I'm going to twist because I have an equal grip on his stick. It's just on the other side. I want it to be in a submissive position. I line up my fist with the back of his, so my stick will be parallel. I'm going to punch it, but more than just punching, I'm going to step, twist, punch, and then I'm going to pull a stick away as well. So when I hit it, it should have this big effect where I can come back and launch my strikes. Okay? So it's very, very simple. You can get this extremely fast. You strike, you grab, and you hit. And you don't have to hit hard. So when you're training with your partner, of course, you want to test it a little bit, but at the same time, you don't want to punch so hard that you only get 2 disarms and then their hand is in pain. You want to be able to get reps and understand how all the small details will help you get the punch disarm, not just your physical strength of smashing their hand. So when we take that punch disarm into a little bit more of an advanced application, I use a transition block. I grab the stick. I'm going to come back. As I come back, I'm going to hook on the outside, and I'm going to bring myself down to the stick at the same time. I'm creating a lot of counter pressure, so I'm pulling his stick. I'm pushing my hand into his wrist, and I'm going to roll it forward right into his skin, dig it into his wrist, and make his arm bend here. Now I have it set up, I step, I bend. Instead of punching, I'm using my elbow. I twist, hit it out of his hand, same concept. I'll show you guys that from the other side. Again, a little bit more advanced. I use a transition block here. Slide my hand down to grab as I create counter pressure with my stick. Roll it forward to bend that wrist, step in, bend my elbow, and disarm. Okay, so those are 2 using the same angle, just one being a little bit more spiced up than the other. One of our most popular disarms that we use in the biostress model system is a concept we call heaven and earth. Now, heaven and earth is a way you can say push and pull. And push and pull is a very, very common concept in Filipino martial arts as a whole. You can see it in disarms, you can see it in transitions, you can see it in takedowns. You'll see it everywhere, almost as much as you see a triangle or an 8. So the heaven and earth disarm can be done in 2 ways. The first way you do it is off of an umbrella or a roof block, and you want to use that line to set up this hand here. So my bottom hand brings the arm up to heaven. My live hand, or my hand with the stick, hits down to earth, and I do it at the same time. Now sometimes you can line this up where you can hit the elbow for self-defense, but for training I just guide the hand here. And really what it is, I don't want you guys to think that it's a 50-50 when it comes to a push and pull. Really what it is, I'm giving enough support here where I can almost strip this going downwards. So you can see I'm not even going to go much to the heaven, but if I just push down like this, it should be able to strip the stick. I don't really have time for that. Okay, so when I get to here, I just strike it down. At the same time, I come up and the disarm is there. I'm going to move straight to the second one so you can see a little bit of difference, because one thing I find with this heaven and earth disarm, when I come over here, if my opponent's really good, especially if it's Guru Sam, if I try to come here, he's going to come back and strike me. He's going to move out of the way. It's really hard for me to transition from 1 to 2. The most I can probably get from here is going right back into a strike. But for me to set up this, I gotta be extremely, extremely fast. There's only a handful of people that I've seen to be able to do that, one of them being the very own Grand Maestro John Bias, head of our system. So the way I like to do this is I go off of angle 2, and I make him block, I twist my stick down, and now I'm gonna thrust past his body. Now instead of using my hooking section, I'm gonna be using kind of the bridge here from my thumb to my wrist. And when I do that, I still guide it. This time it's more diagonal. Okay, so when I set up with angle 2, I twist this down, I'm gonna support, but I'm really gonna smash in with my right hand, and I almost wanna just strip it down. And that's how you're gonna be able to get the disarm. It's really, really powerful, it's really, really strong, and it's one of my favorites because it gets you to that disarm very quickly and very efficiently. So those were the striking disarms. Very, very powerful when you put it into motion, and they're very quick, which is what I like. So they are probably the higher chance of landing when it comes to sparring or when it comes to engaging. If you don't feel like grappling, if you don't feel like pushing and pulling, where it's more of like a takedown feeling, or you don't want to vine around, striking is the way to go. But at the end of the day, guys, striking, eject, vine, they all intertwine with each other. You'll see attributes from each one, and the most important thing is being able to go from one to the other based on the subject in front of you. Don't feel cemented to just one just because you like it, even though it's your go-to. Make sure you understand the different concepts so you choose the one that is best for that situation at hand. I hope you guys enjoy these videos. If you guys have anything you would like to see, make sure you comment below, smash that thumbs up button, and until next time, catch you guys then.